has all the donation info. Says Biden and Yellen should be ashamed. U.S. picks ex-Wall Street executive to lead World Bank. He represents U.S. corporations rather than the needs of 8 billion people around the world. The caption, it says, U.S. President Joe Biden on Thursday nominated a private equity executive and former MasterCard CEO to lead the World Bank, drawing furious backlash from climate and anti-corruption campaigners who said the pick would ensure the key global financial institution remains a tool of corporate interest and funder of climate chaos. Ajay Banga's employment history, touted as exemplary by White House, was the primary source of concerns for advocates who were hoping Biden would replace outgoing World Bank head David Malpass, a Trump appointee who recently came under fire for climate denial. Hold on. With a public servant dedicated to combating the climate crisis, global poverty, and skyrocketing income and wealth equality. Before becoming vice chairman of General Atlantic, which one watchdog describes as a rapacious international private equity firm, Banga worked at Nestle, PepsiCo, and Citibank. Banga also served on Dow Chemicals' board of directors and as the chair of the International Chamber of Commerce, a powerful corporate lobbying organization. Nothing in Banga's resume inspires confidence that he will turn the World Bank away from a path of neocolonialism and predation by global North corporations and global South countries, said Revolving Door Project Executive Director Jeff Hauser, alluding to the body's history of pushing austerity, advocating for the privatization of critical resources such as water, and financing oil and gas products. Sadly, a vision that those who govern best are those that have profited the most from deregulation, economic predation, and the shrinking of the public sphere seems to be winning out in the Biden administration now. Indeed, this vision, we have argued, is what guides Biden's new chief of staff, Jeffrey Zients. Hauser continued. Biden and Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen would be ashamed of this choice. Our message in the past was to figure out how to expeditiously fire David Malpass. Our message now is to retract this nomination and simply do better. So, more of the same. And here goes what I be saying about good cop, bad cop, and bipartisan stuff, because they were complaining about Trump's nomination for this job, and now Biden just hired somebody the same or worse for the job. And it shows who's really running things, because it's the same people that end up being in charge of these things. Like I say, the Republicans don't give a damn, and the Democrats don't give a damn when it comes to this. They both are on the same.
One thing, though, not saying one thing. I'm not going to name any person or anything like that, but he's an ex-Wall Street executive. I'm curious. I mean, yeah, obviously kind of a little bit of an asshole and not a good one, but who would be better qualified? What kind of qualifications are we looking at to run that?
Honestly, you're right, because the job is to make sure that, the status quo continues.
Well, the thing is, you need one of the crooked suckers in there to maybe help it not be as crooked.
I don't see your logic there, but as far as
I'm not saying this guy. This guy's one of the slime balls, but they have to understand the system from the inside out, and the only way to do that is to be part of the system. So, who can you really pull in that's not involved in it already?
Yeah, well, the global understanding of imperialism, the global understanding of extracting resources from the third world or the global south, is the name of the game. So, you know, yes, this guy is perfectly qualified to continue to do that. So, yes, his resume is A1 for getting the job done that they actually want to do.
That's not a part of that's already been conceded. We've already said this guy's a fucking idiot. He's not what we like. The question is, who can you get in? What kind of person do we need in there? Instead of just sitting there and shooting at the guy at the top and trying to make holes and all that, what would be the better decision? Who could we get? But you still have to choose it from someone that knows the system inside out, which means, aren't they all going to be that way?
I think that they all are going to be that way. I don't know how you would find somebody who has experience dealing with this kind of stuff without being already in the club
Well,
and knowing what's actually, because see, I think that the regular folks don't really understand what the World Bank does, or.
listen. Just just to throw something in there, I think most of us are probably qualified to make decisions on a lot of these things. Are we will we be the best candidate starting out? Maybe, maybe not. But the thing is the way that they choose who's going to do this job is who is down with their agenda, their game.
Right.
Somebody who's when I make a decision that let's do this, that you're not going to be argumentative and say no, that's not a good idea. Like
Well,
that
these
they're hiring yes men.
well, then these are not yes men. These are actually the people who really run the show. That's what I'm saying. These people are the ones that really run the show, way more than the politicians.
No,
These
but
these
the guy that puts these guys that put him here, he's the level. He's the highest level that you see. You don't see the guys that run the show.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
guy answers to someone else who runs the show.
But those people that
No,
he answered
to
to are
someone
not
else who answers to someone else. This guy's about 3 or 4, maybe 5 levels down. Our
but the
president's about 8 levels down.
yeah, I was about to say that's my point. That these guys are not, the politicians are not above these guys. That's my point. Definitely not.
Well, regardless, because I would have to agree with you that a lot of these people they probably do have more power than like our president or somehow like I'm not really sure how their pecking order goes, but either way, for Biden to recommend him, he's probably got the word from his
Right,
boss or
right,
bosses to
right.
say, hey,
This
this
is
is
the
who you
guy.
need to,
This is
yeah,
the guy.
this is who we, yeah,
This
this
is
is who
our
we
guy.
want you to, yeah.
Let me read a couple comments under
No,
here
no,
because
he
they're pretty
says this
interesting.
isn't our guy. He tells him, "Here's your choice." He doesn't say this is your guy, our guy. He says, "Here's who you're picking." There's a diff.
Well,
I
same.
know, I
I
know
think
that, I know
that's
that's
the same thing.
semantics, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
There's an illusion of choice in one. There is no illusion of choice when I see it. I'm
Well,
saying
but that's to
he's
us
told,
for what,
he's
who.
told, he's not suggested.
Yeah, I agree with you completely, Doc. Let me read a couple comments. It says, this is underneath. Common Dreams posted this. One of the comments from a random person underneath it, it says, just further proof that Democrats, just like Republicans, are simply wealthy cronies who, at the end of the day, only really support the status quo because it benefits their corporate political benefactors.
There's
Great
somebody
comment.
who's not far off of the trail because I mean, when you start thinking one way or the other, you lost.
Let me read
One's
this
better
one. It
than the
says,
other.
this one, it says, this is a critique. It says, this is a bad take. If not a banker to lead the World Bank, who would you hire? A bus driver, a teacher, someone with absolutely zero experience in banking? This is a really dumb hill to die on. And that's kind of what Doc was kind of arguing too. But I think that you can, we can, a fairly educated person, regular folk, can do this job if they were just, if they, it's like I be saying all the time, I think that anybody could do any job if they get trained. You get trained as far as what's going on. You get debriefed.
Dude,
You get
the world can't afford for them to get on the job training.
Well,
You can't walk into this at moderate level at that. You have to be an ace in the game.
that's from our point. That's from our point of view, because we want the best people. They want whoever is gonna coincide with their you know agenda, whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. Who's gonna give sign off on this one, or deny and decline on other things. Because I mean, like, shoot, the EMF, like that system would be where our money would come from for reparations.
You know what? I want him to find the guy that turned the job down and make him do it
Make who do it?
instead of the guy that wants it.
right. And I think I love that comment, Doc, because I think that's the same thing with our politicians. That's the same thing with the politicians, because that's when we will have good representation, because it's the sociopaths that rise to the top. The guy that really doesn't want to do that job, and you just throw him in there, he's probably going to do a much better job than the guy who really wants it, because the guy that really wants it has some kind of agenda going on.
Hey,
for his
another
personal
line I'm
benefit.
thinking. Another line I'm thinking. Why don't we get one of these crazy ass guys that got caught stealing all this money through all these loopholes and stuff, and put him in charge? Now, hear me. Everyone's all, oh, he'll steal. No, because the eyes of the world are going to be on him.
That's an interesting thought right there.
And if he fucks up, he's gone forever, and he's going to be dead.
Let me read. That's probably, see, there goes another part of this, because
And then he
we could
knows
say,
how the system is screwed up, and he has the ability, now that he's in charge of it, to stop that crap from happening.
but we could say all day that we should get a better person in there or whatever to do this kind of job, but what's going to happen?
We don't get to.
But
We
look,
don't get
this
to
is my
vote these
point.
people in.
No, these are not voted. But look, this is my point. If somebody does get in there and try to shake things up, what do you think is going to happen to that person?
Oh,
I'm more worried about
who's
what's going to
gonna get
happen to
run?
poor people in countries that can't get money and food anymore because the economic system's fucked up.
Well, I don't think that's what will be the result. I think that if somebody who was really trying to make things happen, then they're gonna try to spread it out and do the job that the World Bank or whatever.
Every
said.
He's
single
gonna get
mass
scalped.
change in history makes people hungry and poor people hurt.
And that's what happens with these, because that is actually the job of them. That's actually what they're doing, even though they say on their website that they're doing the opposite. They're lying. Let me read a couple more comments. It says Biden is a lost
What happened to the
soul.
last guy that was doing that job?
They got him up out of there. That's what they were just saying. Let me read.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, okay. Well, I'm just trying to say, like, that's what happens to them. Because I mean, if they let him go alive, then that's one thing. But if he's going against what they really want,
They're gonna take him
he's
out.
gonna
They're
get
gonna
scalped.
disappear.
Yeah,
Yeah, the last
yeah.
guy didn't get scalped. He just got fired. That's the difference. It's like politics.
Well,
Let me
but that's
read.
what I know. Yeah, because I would say
Couple,
he might get suicided or something. But
yeah, they're gonna get disappeared if they really try to do
No,
something.
I doubt he has anything against Hillary.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? KCE, King Chaka.
Okay.
In Finland, the number of homeless people has fallen sharply. Those affected receive a small apartment and counseling with no